Привет из Дубая. С вами передача ГолубьМира, где обсуждаем крутые навыки. Спрашиваем на английском, отвечаем на русском. Подтягивайте язык или смотрите перевод в тайм-кодах. Let's talk about efficient entrepreneur and let's start with the definition.
A lot of people who want to open their own business. It could be like an ice cream shop or maybe a barber shop. But if you are going to make it right, to open several points, or if you think how to sell this business to open a new one and to make it several times, then you are going to be an efficient entrepreneur. So entrepreneur is efficient when he or she is thinking not just how to open, how to conduct, but also how to make it wide, расширяться, to expand
Expand.
or sell business.
And when we're talking about the efficient entrepreneur, there is also a skill in School of Troubleshooters called entrepreneurship. So what might be the difference between two of them and how they interconnected?
They are connected, but not with a fat line. When you are going to be entrepreneur or to make entrepreneurship, you should follow the rules. And this how to make safe business. You are not going to risk. You are not going to высовываться.
Show up.
To show up, so you're going just in a smooth and very safe way. But efficient entrepreneur, they are going to make business not but just earn money, but to повысить капитализацию, to rise
Mm,
capitalization,
increase the capitalization.
increase the capitalization. There is a difference. If you are going to make entrepreneurship, you will have bread and butter. But if you are going to make to increase capitalization, then you will go and have caviar.
And actually, the first question will be like before you want to even open your business, like what should be the mindset of the person who actually wants to start their own venture, how they go about starting, planning, and actually executing on their ideas, and how they actually don't put it in the long shelf.
First, you should never believe that if you are lucky enough to be top manager, then you are then you would be an entrepreneur. My advice would be for the very first time to open a very small business or to be a youngest partner. For example, for 10% or 20%. Why it is cool? First, you would risk not a big amount of money. Second, you will have on your shoulder not too much risk or maybe zero risk. And you will see how more wise person and old person will make all the decisions. You know, for now, for me is 50 years, and I already opened 10 businesses, and 3 of them were multiplied by 0 in different circumstances. And each time I'm going to open bigger and bigger business and more risky and more risky. And each time I'm found a lot of different points which I was not aware about. For example, right now we have with my wife a business dentistry in mid of Moscow, and now we have like third time of raiding, and it is not easy to stand out.
And when it comes to actually, before we even proceed to the fundamental blocks, some of the people might be calling themselves entrepreneurs while they actually would look for someone else's money and, think of, okay, maybe I just will do it like in a startup way, or maybe someone is looking for like a big loan and trying to, use the best or last available resources. So what should be approach to, taking someone else's money or like taking money somewhere else before starting the business, and actually how you should look at the scale of what you want to start?
I never give advice to take money from someone, not from the bank, not from the person. If you could not earn the money, you could not spend them. If you have $1,000, then build business for half of this sum, but never go to be startupper. You know, all startuppers, they are very funny people, and I always ask them the same question. If you're going to borrow money from me, for example, 1 million in US dollars, okay, suggest I will give it to you. But do you have already заложил
Um, put under
collateral?
the credit, yeah, something like this, like put under the debt.
But you are ready to give me papers that I will own your flat, I will own your car, and so on. And everyone will say for me, yes, but you are going to take out my flat. I'm saying, no, I am giving you 1 mil and your flat doesn't cost it. If you're afraid about your flat, then I should afraid of my mil. So never ask people for money. You have enough time to build several small businesses. For example, even my nephews, they were dealing with very small businesses while they were 15 and 16 and so on. And they earn money, for example, for 3 months, for 4 months. And suddenly they realize that it is a very hard way. Yes, I was going to help them and their father was going to help them. But this is not about how to count money. This is how to hire people, how to attract customers, how to build a process, how to build product, by the way.
And now it's actually a good time to look into like who is the efficient entrepreneur in terms of all of the building blocks, their principles, the way they interact with the reality.
I have a very big jealousy for people while they have parents involved already in business. My father and mother, they were just state employee. My mother is teacher, my father is military man, so they couldn't teach me. They just know about salary and nothing more. They know nothing about taxes. And I was lucky enough to work in investment company, then in bank, and I found that a lot of people start business without any knowledge about it. And I start to check business plans, to write business plans. And after writing, I don't know, maybe 7 or 8 business plans, suddenly I realized that I do not believe in them. So I created a papers, and on these papers, I could gain money from bank or some other creative institution, but I am not aware how to make money from this. So I could build shop, I could build internet something, but I could not know how to finish this business. And then I found a man who do not know how to build business, and he has a money, and we were sitting for several evenings, and he was saying, I would like to buy business plan from you, any business plan. If you will believe, I will give you several thousand of US dollars. And I was sitting and thinking for myself, if someone's believe in my business plan so much that wants to pay, why I am not believing in this to make it happen? So I started to make it. And you know, first, second, third businesses they were very small and very funny, and a lot of my colleagues and relatives were smiling. This was not worth of my time, but anyway, it teach me how to work with taxes, how to work with lawyers, how to work with renters, and so on. And after maybe 5 or 6 years, finally I built an internet shop, which was big enough even for me, that I have a team more than 1,000 person. And suddenly I realized that there are several steps. First step is to have team like 5 to 10 people. Second step, maybe it's like 100, 150. Third, it's about 1,000. And it is completely different style of management.
Well, I guess it's also when it comes to starting a business and being an efficient entrepreneur, it's also the game of the attempt and the game of the numbers. Like there is no way to do something from the first time. So you just need to do something on a repetitive basis and maybe even go so deep so that the moment you show your business plan, people actually quite amazed with the depth and the scales. Now, once we're talking about the building blocks, let's actually look into different levels of the efficient entrepreneur, like in which areas they can grow and what kind of a steps they need to go through in order to achieve the next level.
First level of entrepreneurship, when you start to work on not your place, not your office, not your square. So you have part of it and you paying money for someone, and you don't know who is cleaning it and who providing you some essentials like water, heating, and condition. And it is very easy. You just make every small part of the business. Second, when you rent it, so you have your own walls, you have your remont.
Renovation.
You have your own renovation, and you have your own log, and everything is yours. And you should buy toilet paper, you should buy soap, and so on. And by the way, very often in the school on the lessons, people ask me why you are so often talk about toilet paper and soap, and I am saying, you know, it's very hard because if you will miss it out, your people will be unhappy because they have no toilet paper. If they have no A4 paper in printers and Xerox, they just would be neutral. They just will wait. But without toilet paper, nothing will work. And the third level, when you have buildings of your own, so you own the building, you should also be responsible for the wall, for the roof, for the basement, and it is much harder than just to have a renovation.
My next question will be, and I do anticipate it's like will be the field of the mistakes that entrepreneur could make. Obviously, everything they do, it's like mostly it will lead to something which is not really desirable for them. But still, let's try to map out the most common mistakes that people who wants to be efficient entrepreneurs make.
First mistake is to believe without signed papers. There is a saying in Russian language which I like a lot. Business on the words will finish with the blood. So you will have fight in law field or in maybe in criminal field if you believe to someone. Second, never allow too many people be your creditors. If they are just saying they will repair, never believe. You should use the rule money on the table, for example, each week or each month. It's a very strange way. I found this from criminals, but they were asking some of my clients, if you will show my money and they will stay on the table for 5 seconds, I will see them and I will give you back. But if you will not show me, I will not continue our deal and you will be punished. And third, maybe you should know a lot about safety, about risk, about law, about bookkeeping, and about IT, because you couldn't rely on any other people. For example, right now I am using a lot of lawyers, in total 10 person from the 4 companies, and sometimes I decide which advice would I take, but sometimes just one company or just one man is going to say what I'm happy about, but all other are missing something, so I could not rely on them on negotiations.
And actually, when it comes to personality, based on what we just covered, because technically it's a lot, you need to care about every single step from like a toilet paper or like how you can beige like certain pores, meaning that your skin should be, I don't know, a couple of centimeters, even though like visually you should be like appear as a normal person. So my question will be whether being entrepreneur is for everyone. Obviously, there might be different types of the businesses, but in general, it's also probably takes some sort of like a guts that you need to have in order to like step in and move into this role.
First, you should be a very responsible person and you should complete order in your head. If you will forget something, you will disturb your clients, your customers, your suppliers, your intermediates, and so on. So you should have everything in order in your head. Second, you should understand every small piece of your business. There is a lot of people who is saying that do not go deep to the operations, to the routines. No, I am deeply sure that every entrepreneur, effective entrepreneur, should be responsible for operation excellence. And I am lucky and I like to make it when we, for example, with my wife, go into our dentistry with no man, just we, and we open our business and we meet our clients, and I do all the technical job and my wife do all medical jobs, and then we close the building and go into restaurant to celebrate that we are able to do it by ourselves, just alone.
Which actually leads me to my question that potentially could be last one, whether it's really worth it, because obviously there is so many blood, sweat, and tears, and maybe like a lot of sleepless nights, or maybe a bunch of gray hairs. But at the end of the day, whether it's really worth it.
No, it does worse for, I don't know exactly, usually for 3 or for years. And it is very hard to say to my pupil when I'm saying, let's come on, finish your career, let's start business. I know that all of them will have at least approximately 1,000 very hard days. But if you will survive this, on the 5th year, you will find that finally you are a free man. Before this time, you are worried about a lot of, you could not sleep. You write something on the papers in your block notes and write some documents. But suddenly, when you have like 5 to 7 responsible people who are almost your deputy, and they also by heart love your business, then you start to know that everything is going to be okay. The same was with our dentistry. The same was with School of Troubleshooters. The same was with Bragинский Bureau. So for the very first time, no one knows how to do it, and you should, and you also maybe don't know how to do it. And then you will make first steps, like like a ill child starting to ride on ski or snowboard. You will fall, I don't know, maybe 100 times, maybe 500 times, but every time you will do it better and faster, and suddenly you will realize that you have peace in your heart and calm in your brain.
Если вы хотите начать свой бизнес, то готовьтесь к мрачным годам, чтобы потом иметь небольшую вероятность увидеть проблеск света. А мы рассмотрели навык «Эффективный предприниматель» и чем он полезен именно вам. Всем мира!